The party is still glowing in the other room. Someone has slipped out, sitting alone in the dark with the phone face down. They are not sad. They are not angry at anyone. They just needed the noise to finally stop for a while. So why does a good day with people leave some of us needing an empty room just to feel like ourselves again? And what does the most common substitute for silence cost us? We like to say these people recharge like a battery. It is a comforting picture, and it is a little misleading on purpose. Silence does not pour energy back into anyone. Nothing magical is refilling in the dark. So, something else must be happening. Picture your attention as an inbox that never closes. Every voice, glance, and buzzing notification drops one more message inside. Each message asks for a small reply, a nod, a laugh, a quick decision about what your face is supposed to be doing. Silence is not fuel. It is a boundary that stops new messages from arriving, so the crowded inbox can finally begin to clear. With no new demands coming in, the mind gets room to sort what already happened. That quiet sorting is the real recharge. But needing silence is not one single trait. At least 3 different things quietly wear the very same quiet face. For some, it is temperament. Introversion means social contact simply costs more than it gives back, so quiet arrives as relief. This is not shyness, and it is not dislike of people. Many introverts love their friends deeply and still need to leave early. For others, the body reads the room louder. Bright light, sharp sound, and shifting moods can land harder than they do for most. Researchers describe this as higher environmental sensitivity. The same dinner that relaxes one person may slowly overwhelm another beside them. And sometimes, it is neither trait. It is simply a state, a nervous system that has taken in far more than it can hold right now. Overload can visit almost anyone after a loud, demanding day. Silence here is not a personality. It is closer to simple first aid. The trouble starts when we read the quiet as rejection. A partner leaves the table, and the empty chair fills with worry. It looks like they are pulling away from us. Often, though, they are only pulling away from the sheer volume of the room. So the quiet one feels guilty for needing space and pushes through instead. The inbox just keeps filling with unread demands. Without a clearing, small irritations sharpen. Warm people go short and flat, not because they changed, but because nothing ever got sorted. Here is the part the battery story quietly misses.
The goal was never silence itself. The goal, all along, was rhythm. A steady mind seems to swing between 2 needs. It reaches toward people, and then it steps back to be alone for a while. Some research on daily life suggests we feel best when we alternate connection and solitude, rather than living stuck at either single pole. That work leaned mostly on people in later life, so we should hold it gently. Still, the pattern rings true across many quiet lives. Chosen solitude is not the same as loneliness. One is a door you open on purpose. The other is a door stuck shut. The mind does its quiet work when the input finally stops. Loose fragments of the day get filed into something that makes sense. Studies on learning hint that a short, quiet rest afterward can help the brain hold on to what it has just taken in. That finding is about memory, not a proven refill of social energy. We should not stretch one small study to explain everything at once. Much of this is still gentle, unfinished science. So treat these ideas as a mirror to reflect in, never a label to wear. If you are the one who slips away, hear this plainly. Nothing is wrong with you. Your mind adapted this way for a reason. It helps to ask which quiet is yours today. Temperament, a sensitive system, or just a flooded and ordinary evening? The answer changes the fix. Temperament needs a routine. Sensitivity needs a softer room. Overload needs an early and kind exit. Try trading the apology for a fact, not, sorry I'm boring. Instead,
I recharge alone, and then I come back. And if you love someone like this, the quiet is rarely about you. It is the price of returning to you as their fuller self. You can protect the swing between together and apart. Let them step out for a while and trust the door to swing back open. Open offices and back-to-back video call windows remove the step back entirely. The inbox never clears, and the warmest people quietly burn out. The colleague who eats lunch alone is not cold. They may be buying the small calm that makes the afternoon meeting bearable. But silence can also be overused as a wall. Endless retreat is not rhythm either. It is the door stuck shut all over again. So the honest question is simple. Am I stepping back in order to return, or am I stepping back in order to disappear? There is another trap here. Leaving the room and immediately opening an endless feed changes the source of input, but it does not end the input. The body may be alone while attention is still answering strangers, headlines, clips, and arguments. That is privacy without much psychological quiet.
Restorative silence is less about perfect acoustics and more about fewer demands. Nothing needs an answer. Nothing needs a performance. Nothing needs a decision. Yet. Try creating a landing strip between the public day and the private evening. Shoes off. Softer light. Phone down. No conversation required for a few minutes. A predictable ritual also makes quiet easier for other people to understand. Space feels less like abandonment when everyone knows when connection will resume. The useful sentence has two parts: what you need now and when you will return. I need a quiet half hour. Then I want to hear about your day. Not every quiet has to mean a sealed room. A slow walk, folding laundry, sitting in a parked car, or cooking alone may create the same breathing room. And a silent room can remain mentally loud. Replaying a conversation, rehearsing tomorrow, and judging yourself for needing space can keep the inbox open from inside. When thoughts will not settle, choose one harmless physical task. Wash a cup. Water a plant. Let the hands finish something the mind does not have to solve. You do not need to measure recharge like a battery. Look for a return signal instead. Curiosity comes back, the jaw softens, and another person's voice feels welcome again. Your needed dose may change by day, season, work, sleep, and company. A preference is information, not a rigid identity you must defend forever. The first minutes matter most because transition is the point. If questions, chores, and decisions rush in immediately, the public day follows you through the door. Protect a short arrival window before solving anything. If time alone no longer restores anything, or you keep withdrawing from people and activities you value, the pattern may deserve more support than another closed door. Talking with a qualified professional is not proof that your need for quiet was wrong. It is simply help telling restoration from avoidance when the difference becomes hard to see. Misread this need, and we lose people slowly. Not in a single fight, but across 100 evenings they simply stopped explaining. Get it right, and something eases. The quiet one stops defending, and the room stops reading the silence as any kind of verdict. Return to that person in the dark room, the phone face down, the party still humming softly through the thin wall. They were never rejecting the night. They were only closing the inbox so that tomorrow they could open the door again. Silence was never the battery. It was the boundary that let the real, quiet work happen. The cost of replacing it with more input was never resting at all. So the next time someone slips away into the quiet, maybe do not rush to ask them why they left the room. Ask instead what they are making room for and whether you have left the door open for them to come back through.